History has taught us a harsh lesson. Stability is fragile. Our modern world, with its complex power grids and intricate supply chains, is more vulnerable than we like to admit. What if the unthinkable happened? A complete grid-down scenario. A conflict that disrupts everything we take for granted. This isn't about fear-mongering. This is about being prepared. Today, we're creating a practical guide for long-term survival, specifically tailored for those of us in Ohio. Let's start with the most critical period, the golden hour and the first 72 hours. The moment you realize something is catastrophically wrong, the clock starts ticking. Your first hour is about immediate, decisive action. Don't hesitate. Go straight to every tap in your house and fill every single container you have with water. Bathtubs, sinks, buckets, empty soda bottles, everything. Water is life, and the municipal supply could be the first thing to go. While the water is running, secure your home. Lock all doors and windows, and draw the curtains. You need to make your home look unoccupied and uninteresting. Finally, gather your family and your pre-prepared go bags or get home bags. Everyone should know where these are and what's inside. This isn't the time for panic. It's the time for a calm, practiced response. Once you've weathered that initial shock, the next 71 hours are about hunkering down and assessing the situation. Your goal is to maintain a low profile. That means minimizing light and noise, especially at night. Blackout curtains are your best friend. Your connection to the outside world is now a hand crank or battery-powered radio. Tune into emergency frequencies to gather information. Is this a local outage or something bigger? Is help on the way, or are you on your own? While you're listening, take a detailed inventory of all your supplies. Count every can of food, every bottle of water, every bandage, and every gallon of fuel. Knowing exactly what you have is crucial for planning your next steps. As you settle in, consider reinforcing your home's security. If the situation feels unstable, don't be afraid to board up vulnerable windows or barricade doors. This initial 72-hour period is your buffer zone. It's giving you time to think and plan without being exposed to the initial chaos that might be unfolding outside. Now, we move from immediate reaction to long-term strategy, and for Ohioans, it boils down to one critical decision: bugging in or bugging out. Let's first explore the bug-in strategy, which means sheltering in place. This is the preferred option for most people, provided your location is secure and you're well supplied. Food is paramount. We're not talking about a few days' worth of snacks. We're talking about a true prepper's pantry. This means long-term staples with a shelf life of decades: rice, beans, wheat, oats, and a deep stock of canned goods. These are the building blocks of your survival diet. For water, once your initial stored supply runs low, you'll need a renewable source. In Ohio, our climate provides ample rainfall. Setting up a rainwater collection system, even a simple one with barrels and tarps, is essential. But collection is only half the battle. You must have multiple methods to purify that water, like filters, boiling, or chemical treatments. Security is the next layer. You need to turn your home into a hard target. This goes beyond locked doors. Think in layers: motion-activated alarms, reinforced door frames, security film on windows, and a clear perimeter. Finally, and this is perhaps the most overlooked aspect of bugging in, is community. That weird neighbor who also has a big garden. He's now your most valuable ally. Building a trusted network of neighbors for mutual defense and sharing resources and skills is not just a good idea, Tess, a force multiplier that dramatically increases everyone's chances of survival. But what if staying put isn't an option? This is where the bug-out strategy comes in. The decision to evacuate your home is one of the most difficult you'll ever make. Key triggers would be an immediate, credible threat to your location, like widespread fires or civil unrest, or the depletion of your essential resources with no hope of resupply. You must have predetermined bug-out criteria. If you do have to leave, where do you go? Into the woods is not a plan. You need a pre-planned, scouted, and preferably stocked bug-out location. For those in Ohio, the rugged terrain of the Appalachian foothills in the southeast or the dense state forests like Shawnee or Zaleski offer potential retreats. But you can't just show up. You need to have been there before. Understand the terrain, the water sources, and the potential challenges. Just as important as the destination is the route. Major highways will be clogged, chaotic, and dangerous. You need primary, secondary, and tertiary routes planned out on physical maps. Yes, physical maps. Your GPS will be a paperweight. Your routes should use back roads and country lanes, and you should know them by heart. Gugging out is a last resort, a calculated gamble that the risks of leaving are less than the risks of staying. Whether you've bugged in or bugged out, the short-term preps will eventually run out. This is where we transition to long-term sustainability, and Ohio offers a surprising amount of resources if you have the skills to use them. Food production becomes your new full-time job. You need to start a garden, and not just any garden. Focus on heirloom seeds, which you can save year after year. High-yield, calorie-dense crops that thrive in Ohio's climate are your priority. The Three Sisters, corn, beans, and squash are a classic for a reason. Potatoes, both sweet and regular, are also fantastic calorie producers. Beyond your garden, the forests of Ohio are a wild pantry. You must learn to identify common edible and medicinal plants. Things like dandelion, cattail, wild berries, and mushrooms can supplement your diet. But you need 100% certainty in your identification. Misidentifying a plant can be fatal. Hunting and trapping will also be vital. Ohio has a healthy population of deer, turkey, squirrel, and rabbit. Understanding their habits, habitats, and how to process them is a critical skill. Game laws will likely be irrelevant, but the knowledge behind them is what matters. Water will be a constant concern. If you're lucky enough to have a well, you need a way to pump it manually. Don't rely on an electric pump. If you don't have a well, you'll be sourcing water from rivers, lakes, and streams. Ohio has plenty of them, but you must assume all open water sources are contaminated. High quality water filter is non-negotiable. And you should always have a backup method, like boiling or chemical purification, ready to go. But here is the ultimate truth of long-term survival. The most important prep isn't the gear you buy. It's the skills you learn. Advanced first aid, knowing how to preserve your harvest through canning and dehydrating. Basic mechanics to fix tools. The skills to defend yourself and your family. These are the things that will truly keep you alive. And this brings us back to the most critical element, community. No one survives a long-term disaster alone. A solitary lone wolf is a fantasy. A well-functioning community where individuals trade skills, a gardener trading vegetables with a hunter for meat, a mechanic fixing a water pump for someone who can provide security, that is the model for success. Let's bring it all together. The path to survival is built on a foundation of clear principles. It starts with immediate, decisive action in the first hours. It depends on a well-reasoned strategy. Whether you shelter in place or evacuate to a prepared location, and ultimately, it requires a complete shift in mindset towards long-term, sustainable skills and the power of community. This isn't about living in fear. It's about looking at reality, acknowledging vulnerabilities, and taking responsibility for yourself and your loved ones. It's about empowerment. The peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a plan, that you have the skills and supplies to face the unknown, is invaluable. The world can be an uncertain place, but your preparedness doesn't have to be. The time to prepare is now. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay ready.